Interceptor is the brand new Netflix original film starring Elsa Pataki and Luke Bracey. The film is also executive produced by Pataki's real-life husband, Chris Hemsworth, and tells her about one Army captain who must use her years of tactical training and military expertise when a simultaneous coordinated attack threatens the remote missile interceptor station she is in command of. The film is 1 hour and 39 minutes and is TV mature. Welcome back to a brand new Netflix movie review here on Max Talk Movies. We're talking about Interceptor, which came out on June 3rd. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do these types of movie reviews, TV show reviews, box office breakdown show every single Monday, and as well as movie and monthly rankings. Also, comment down below. First of all, have you even heard of Interceptor? Are you going to check it out this weekend? If you've already seen it, tell me, did this disappoint you? This is one of your favorite, least favorite Netflix movies. Let me know in the comment section down below. And like the video, guys, the thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel the best way possible. Helps the algorithm so more people can check out, who are recommended can watch this review. So I really knew nothing about this other than Elsa Pataki in a leading role in an action movie. That's literally it. Found down the credits that Chris Hemsworth, who is her husband, produced it. I've only really known her at all really just from the Fast and Furious films. As well, Luke Bracey, I've seen in other things, a couple Netflix things, but these are two actors who I've never, I've seen Bracey in leading roles, but not Pataki. So I was really interested to see how this movie would work. Now I'm going to go through my positives, my negatives, and my score out of 5 stars and a rating. So I have a really, sadly, just a couple positives I have to say. The first one is actually that the concept and the premise, the first 15 minutes, you're kind of like, I can get behind this type of movie. There's intercepting Russian missiles, and there's only 2 places in the entire country of the United States where you can intercept. It takes 24 minutes for a missile to go from Russia to the US, and it's 12 minutes for the interceptor to intercept the missile. So, and when these terrorists come in and want to blow up the United States, they need this area so she does not intercept the missiles. So the actual idea, that's actually a fun idea for a 90-minute B-movie action movie. That's kind of what I was kind of hoping for this movie. So the premise is actually really good. And I actually do like Elsa Pataki in this movie. Sadly, she doesn't get anything to work with, but she really does commit in the action scenes. And you can tell that she's a total badass throughout the entire movie. And of course, you're rooting for her character to get through this movie based on her past and what she's already gone through leading into this point. But Elsa Pataki is a very solid lead actor. I would like to see her in a different project. But I just had she's a really fun actress to watch on screen, especially in action films. So I like the idea of her going into action by herself as a lead, but she might need better writers to get her through that. Other than the premise and the lead performance, I also think some of the action scenes are actually choreographed really well. There's like 2 in particular that are very well choreographed. That I was like, it's actually a pretty good action scene. While I wasn't intense, I could really respect that the director was really focused on the action scene and wasn't doing quick cuts to get 30 different angles of the scene. He kind of just followed what was going on and actually made for a more realistic like action scene than usual. But that's where I'm going to stop with the positives, because I really, really did not like this movie. And I know a lot of people might watch this and think it's just another forgettable Netflix action film. But the reason why I'm a bit harsher on it is that there is a lot of potential here for, as I said, to be a B-movie Netflix original action film. They make tons of those. And the fact that Hemsworth was a producer, seems like they had a lot of understanding of what this movie was. This is the worst screenplay that I've seen all year long, because this movie has no idea what it wants to be. The actual premise leads it to being kind of a B movie, early 2000s action film, but the movie can't decide if it wants to be a silly, too bloody action film, or if it wants to be a super serious film about Russia blowing up the United States, or if it wants to be a social commentary film about sexual abuse and immigration. Like they kind of just throw everything at the screen, and it just doesn't work out for the film. Because this movie and really the characters themselves are taking this plot so seriously, there is some awful one-liners, dialogue that feel like they come right out of a 80s movie, but it's supposed to be a serious movie. It's like confusing tones. One of the most confusing tone movies I've seen in a long time. We have characters saying, I'm not a murderer, I'm a patriot. Tell my daughter and wife I love them. Like, there's some really cheesy dialogue that just pulls me right out of the movie. And while the first 15, 20 minutes comes kind of right at you, guns blazing, I'm shocked how there's just not enough action in this movie. You would think because of how simplistic the movie is, and really we're in one location for the entire movie, you think that would lead itself to more inventive or just more action scenes in general. But most of the movie is just our characters talking, giving exposition dumps, telling us their motivation. And it just doesn't come off as natural conversation whatsoever. We have our villain played by Luke Bracey, and we have our hero, JJ, played by Pataki, who literally just have one-on-one conversations for, it feels like, the entire movie, where one scene, JJ will give up her backstory. The next one, Alexander will give up his backstory. Then Alexander will give up his motivation, who he's working for. And it just doesn't feel real whatsoever, because the actual premise feels like something that could kind of maybe even happen, of a terrorist taking over these type of interceptors to let missiles hit the United States. That idea can make for a really intense, gritty action film. But as I said, it is a awful screenplay. Doesn't help is that there's some really bad performances as well in the film. I'm not going to say who. I'm not that type of person who just kills actors, but there's a couple performances that were just took me right out of the movie. And I felt uncomfortable at times because the movie wanted to be this cheesy early 2000s film. And then they have backstories about how the US government has sexual assault history. And we have one of his corporals who is Hindi and is an immigrant, and how that is a problem to America. They kind of throw everything at the table. There's some good ideas in there, but none of these ideas fit together to be in the same movie. And it's what it feels like, a train wreck of me with some really dialogue that makes this movie a comedy more than a serious TV matured action film. I mean, I was laughing way more than I felt even close to being intense or emotional with the story. So this for me is just one of my least favorite movies of the year. Definitely my least favorite one I've seen on Netflix this year. I know some people will be nicer to it because it has some action in it and a really good lead performance by Pataki. But for me, the confusion of what this movie needed to be, some really laughably bad dialogue, and for a movie that feels like a total first draft in the script, in the takes of some of the actors, it just is a total misfire for me. So I'm going to give Interceptor a 0.5 out of 5 stars. I'm going to go 16% for Interceptor. Just not a good movie whatsoever, and it's definitely my bottom 3 of the year so far. So let me know your thoughts. If you disagree with me, let me know why in the comment section down below. Please like the video, comment down below. I have a box office breakdown show coming on Monday, Obi-Wan review on Wednesday, and then a week from tomorrow on Sunday the 12th, you'll have my Jurassic World Dominion review. So a lot of things coming out. Subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys soon.